So here's a rundown on some of our national and international headlines for this Monday morning. It is June 5th, 2017. If you haven't heard about it yet, there was yet another terror attack, this time in London on Saturday night. Basically, a van intentionally plowed down pedestrians, and then three guys jumped out and started randomly, indiscriminately stabbing people. In total, 7 people dead, another 48 wounded, 21 of them in critical condition. And the world's reaction has been, I guess you'd almost say typical at this point, with world leaders condemning the attacks and each other. And President Trump actually going after the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, for basically saying, how can you tell Londoners to go about their business as normal? This isn't normal. And why aren't we talking about gun violence right now? Because they used a van and knives. Now, this heckling, as is being called from President Trump, is also being heckled back by basically saying, hey, you don't know what life is like here, whatever. The armed officers in London, by the way, fired an unprecedented amount of bullets, 50 rounds fired, and one of those at least hit a standard by. So there was a person who was unintentionally shot by police during this. In other news with that, the Ariana Grande concert went on Sunday, and the UK election is supposed to go ahead on June 8th. So if the terrorists are trying to get people to buckle in and hide, that's not working. In fact, there was one journalist, an American journalist who's stationed in London, who went on Twitter and put an $86,000 bounty on his own head, challenging Islamic State to come and kill him, if you can. And he posed with his sword and said, I've got a sword, good luck. In Kabul, Afghanistan, fear is now a normal part of life, as there's been a deadly cycle of violence. I think some 6 attacks in the last week or so, hundreds of people dead and hundreds more wounded. And they're asking, where's our protection? Where's the police? Where's the government in all of this? There was a interesting story here. Oliver Stone doing some interviews with Vladimir Putin. They're going to air, I think, next week on HBO. Some of it was leaked to the public, in which Putin apparently said that he had asked Bill Clinton about Russia joining NATO. And Oliver Stone said, well, did you? Did you apply? And he laughed at it. He's like, look, NATO doesn't have allies. It's a vassal force for the United States. The United States has vassals, not allies. More violence in the Philippines as civilians in Marawi. They had called the ceasefire to get them out. Only about 39 actually came out before the gunfire resumed, breaking the truce. They're saying up to 2,000 civilians remain trapped in the city. James Comey Senate testimony is going to happen this week, and America is bracing. It should be very interesting, however this goes down, because on the one hand, Comey has said that he was pressured by Trump to drop the investigation. Trump has said he did not pressure him. So now if Comey goes and testifies that Trump did, now we could see something that is, well, honestly worse than any of the other presidential, scandals. You think about the teapot scandal with Warren Harding and how basically there was allegations of bribery, but never that a president himself directly threatened somebody. Same thing with the Watergate. President Nixon was not accused of directly threatening anybody. If Comey testifies, as people expect that he will, that Trump himself threatened him or intervened in some way, then that could bolster those who want to see Trump impeached. There's more protests in Morocco being shut down by Moroccan authorities. In this case, it was a women's protest, and they encircled the women with police and just dragged them off. ISIS has surrendered an Iraqi hideout of leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. They're saying the caliphate is crumbling. And the Oath Keepers militia vowed to attend yesterday's free speech rally in Portland to help with security. One last story. As always, we've got more stories than we actually have time for in a short video. If you'd like to get 30 to 40 minutes of news delivered audio form directly to your inbox, send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com. There's a pregnant teenager, 18 years old, who was banned from her Christian high school graduation for being immoral. Well, she got her diploma this weekend, and that'll be the subject of my commentary today. Check it out, radiofreespeech.com.